Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Hold on to your seats, football fans, because the NFL world is buzzing with one of the wildest trade rumors of the offseason. And no, you're not dreaming. Word on the street is that the Miami Dolphins are cooking up something absolutely insane behind the scenes. According to several league insiders and whispers swirling around team facilities, the Dolphins may be on the verge of pulling off a blockbuster trade that could shake the entire AFC to its core. The move bringing none other than Derrick Henry to South Beach. Yes, King Henry himself. But that's not all. This potential mega deal would involve Miami sending two of their current stars packing in return. That's right, two established playmakers could be wearing different uniforms by the time week 1 rolls around. It's a high-stakes gamble for a team that's been knocking on the playoff door but just hasn't been able to kick it open. And now they might be betting it all on power grit and one of the most punishing runners the NFL has seen in the last decade. The move would be as risky as it is tantalizing, and fans are already divided. Now, before you go clearing cap space on Madden or buying a Dolphins Henry jersey, let's be clear, this is still a rumor. Nothing official yet, but it's a rumor with serious legs. Derrick Henry, who has been the heart and soul of the Titans offense for years, is reportedly looking for a fresh start, especially with Tennessee entering what appears to be a quiet rebuild. With just 1 year left on his deal and turning 31 soon, Henry's window to win a Super Bowl is closing fast. And Miami, they've got talent speed, a dynamic quarterback in Tua, and a front office that's not afraid to roll the dice. Word is the Dolphins are ready to go all in. But here's the kicker. To land Henry, they're rumored to be parting ways with two major pieces, possibly names like Jalen Waddle or even Xavier Howard. Again, nothing confirmed, but these are names being thrown around in conversations that are heating up quickly. But this wouldn't just be a bold trade. It would be a statement. A move that screams, we're done waiting. The time is now. Imagine. This Derrick Henry lining up in the backfield with Tua Tagovailoa under center and Tyreek Hill sprinting down the sideline. That's the kind of offensive nightmare that keeps defensive coordinators up at night. Pair that with Mike McDaniel's creativity and you've got a potential juggernaut. Of course, bringing in a player like Henry isn't just about highlight reels or jersey sales. It's about identity. Miami has long been known for its speed and finesse. Henry brings brute force. He brings that old school smash mouth football mentality that wears the fences down by the fourth quarter. If this deal goes through, it could signify a philosophical shift in how the Dolphins want to win games. Less aerial fireworks, more ground and pound control. And let's not forget, Henry has playoff experience. He's carried an offense on his back before. He knows what it's like to shoulder the load. For Miami, that could be the missing piece, but at what cost giving up 2 stars means potentially weakening other areas? The front office would need to believe, truly believe, that Henry is the key to unlocking a championship window that might only be open for another season or 2. And that's where things get tricky. If the Dolphins really are willing to trade away 2 key players, it tells us just how desperate they are to win now. Not next year, not in the coming seasons, right freaking now. The AFC East is a war zone. The Bills have Josh Allen. The Jets might have a healthy Aaron Rodgers. The Patriots are rebuilding, but still have Belichick. Miami can't afford to play it safe. They've got speed, flash, and explosiveness, but not the kind of balance you need when playoff weather hits and passing becomes a challenge. That's where Henry comes in. He's the guy you hand the ball to 30 times in a freezing playoff game in Buffalo. He's the guy that grinds down defenders and breaks their will. But again, the cost. If this deal includes someone like Jalen Waddle, that's a huge piece of the offense gone, chemistry disrupted, cap space restructured, the locker room dynamic altered. This wouldn't just be a personnel move, it would be a cultural shift, a signal that Miami is officially in whiner bus mode. And when teams make moves like that, there's no turning back. But let's look at it from Tennessee's perspective. Trading Derrick Henry would mark the end of an era. He's been the face of the franchise, the unstoppable force that made the Titans relevant. If they're truly open to this deal, it suggests they're embracing the rebuild fully. Getting 2-star players in return, especially if one is young like Waddle or a defensive cornerstone like Howard, could help speed up that process dramatically. It's a smart move for a team that doesn't want to sit through a 3-14 season without assets. If this deal goes down, it's a win-win on paper. Miami gets a proven winner. Tennessee gets younger and adds flexibility. But let's be honest, Dolphins fans won't care about Tennessee's future. They'll only care if Derrick Henry delivers. If this trade happens and the Dolphins don't at least reach the AFC Championship, it's a failure. That's the pressure that comes with this level of risk. The kind of pressure that turns front office executives into legends or gets them fired. And right now it sounds like Chris Greer is willing to put his neck on the line. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments what's your take on the Fins this week. Let's not ignore the financial side either. Derrick Henry isn't cheap. Even on an expiring deal, his cap hit is something the Dolphins would have to maneuver carefully. Restructuring contracts, moving other pieces, it's not just plug and play. And if they're parting with someone like Xavier Howard, they'd also be losing a major defensive leader. That's not just about talent, it's about presence, experience, leadership. The Dolphins' defense was already shaky at times last season. Can they afford to lose a foundational piece on one side of the ball just to boost the other? That's the chess match Miami's front office is playing. Add to that the health questions surrounding Tua, and this becomes a razor-thin tightrope walk. You don't trade for a bruising running back if you're not convinced your QB will be healthy to make the most of it. But maybe, just maybe, this is the Dolphins' way of preparing for every scenario. If Tua struggles or gets hurt, Henry can carry the load. If Tua thrives, the offense becomes nearly unstoppable. It's a gamble, no doubt. But sometimes the boldest moves are the ones that change everything. And here's another twist. What if this rumored trade doesn't go down as expected, but the mere leak of it was intentional? Think about it. Leaking rumors like this can create pressure on other teams, on agents, on players. Could this be Miami's way of driving up interest in Henry to force another AFC contender to make a move? Could they be bluffing to get the Titans to lower their price? Or maybe they're testing how the fan base would react to losing guys like Waddle or Howard before actually pulling the trigger. Teams have done this before. Leaks are part of the business. But sometimes leaks become reality. And if this one has any truth to it, then the Dolphins are truly aiming for something massive. You don't tease a move like this unless there's smoke and possibly fire. And we're not talking preseason hype. We're talking real consequences, real shifts in power, real Super Bowl or bust mentality. And for a team like Miami who's been craving relevance since Dan Marino retired, this kind of boldness could finally take them back to the promised land or send them crashing down. Now, what does the locker room think? Because trades of this magnitude don't just affect depth charts, they affect chemistry. If Waddle or Howard are indeed part of this rumored deal, how do the remaining players respond? Will Tyreek Hill still be the same vocal leader if his partner in crime is gone? Will the secondary hold up without their Pro Bowl cornerstone? These are the internal dynamics that rarely make headlines, but they matter a lot. Championship teams are built not just on talent, but on trust, on cohesion, on understanding roles. Derrick Henry is a beast, no doubt, but will he mesh with the culture Mike McDaniel has carefully crafted, or will his presence create imbalance? In a locker room that's thrived on speed and swagger, it's not just about plugging in talent, it's about how it all fits. Chemistry is fragile in the NFL. Disrupt it the wrong way, and your season is over before it begins. So if this trade does happen, it'll be fascinating to see how quickly Henry integrates and how the remaining stars adjust to life without two of their own. Let's also think long term. Even if this rumored trade brings short-term success, what happens next season? Henry is on the wrong side of 30, and while he's been defying the aging curve, running backs always hit a wall. If Miami gives up young stars for 1 or 2 years of Henry, and it doesn't lead to a Super Bowl, what then do they suddenly become a team with an aging core and no cap flexibility? It's happened before. Teams chasing glory end up in cap hell. And while Dolphins fans are rightfully hungry for a deep playoff run, the front office has to weigh short-term gain versus long-term sustainability. Is Henry worth mortgaging the future? Some would argue yes, especially if he brings a ring. Others would say the price is too steep, the risk too great. This is the NFL in 2025. Offenses are evolving. The game is faster, more vertical. Is building around a power back the right move? Or is Miami chasing a dream that passed 5 years ago? These are the philosophical questions behind every headline. And this rumored trade, it forces Miami to answer all of them right now. One thing: is for sure, if this deal happens, it will be remembered for years, for better or worse. It will be one of those trades that NFL Films revisits a decade from now, calling it either the spark that lit the dynasty or the moment it all fell apart. Miami is at a crossroads. The roster is talented. The fans are electric. The division is brutal. And the pressure immense. Bringing in Derrick Henry would signal that this team isn't afraid of anyone, that it's ready to line up and punch opponents in the mouth. But the price, oh man, the price is steep. Losing 2 stars altering the team's very DNA, it's not a move you make lightly. But maybe, just maybe, that's what it takes. Maybe that's how you break through. If you're a Dolphins fan, buckle up. Because whether this trade is real exaggerated or somewhere in between, one thing's for sure, this franchise is done playing it safe. And if Henry does end up in aqua and orange, the entire league better take notice. Because South Beach might be bringing the pain this season and doing it with one of the most feared backs in NFL history. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.